What's up, A to Z Sports Live for our Titan Game Day Live halftime show. Titans are getting embarrassed and outplayed in all three phases of the game, with the Ravens up 18-3 at halftime in London at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And we have a lot of things to be very angry about here if you're watching the Tennessee Titans attempt to play an NFL football game. But Jack, we're going to have a great show, a lot of venting, airing of grievances as Kyle Phillips muffs the punt at the end, which gives up 3 more points for the Ravens. The Titans do get the ball back to start the second half. But, Jack, before we get everybody's level of how upset they are, first tell everybody they need to share the show.
Yeah, absolutely. While y'all are filing in, share the show. Share it to your Titans Facebook groups. If you're on Facebook, if you're watching on Twitch, text that Twitch link to your Titans text groups. I know you're blowing them up. I know that y'all are frustrated. I know that it was ugly. It was really grotesque. But we want to grow this conversation. We want to hear from all of you guys, see what y'all think about all the mistakes the Titans made in the first half in London against the Ravens. Finally, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you turn those notifications on. You don't want to miss an update every time A to Z Sports goes live. But Austin, to put it simply, disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting. So make sure you guys share the show. Before we dive into all of your comments, do want to thank all of our Titan Game Day Live partners this season. X Golf Nashville, the home of indoor golf in Middle Tennessee, xgolfnashville.com, the Mint Gaming Hall, just 35 minutes north of Nashville, the mintgaming.com, BetMGM, use code ATOZ200 for a $10 moneyline wager to win $200 in bonus bets instantly. The law offices of Amanda J. Gentry, wherever justice demands. Chim Chimney for all your chimney needs. Adventure Science Center, explore and discover your full family adventure awaits. And Jarrett HVAC and Plumbing, your facility comfortable and secure, one inspection at a time at jarrettcompanies.com. So Jack, there's a big audience here. The Tennessee Titans are absolutely shooting themselves in the foot. And I don't understand how a team can be so unprepared to play a football game and making so many mistakes, mental mistakes, physical mistakes, everything. But the Kyle Phillips muffed punt at the end to gift the Baltimore Ravens 3 points is so inexcusable. Look, there are things that have happened as I'm trying to collect all my thoughts here. There is absolutely zero reason Kyle Phillips should even attempt to field that punt. There's 12 seconds left. You get off the field. You go to the locker room 15-3. You let that ball land wherever it wants to and bounce wherever it wants to. And the last thing you want to do is give the Ravens another second to kick a field goal to make it a 15-point game. There's no, Craig Aukerman, who is the special teams coach, has now seen his units give up 6 points alone. His special teams has given up 6 points alone. Kyle Phillips muff, the 70-yard punt return by Duvernay gave up a field goal too. Jack, I'll toss it to you. This is absolutely inexcusable from so many different levels of the Tennessee Titans organization.
While we're on coaching, yes, not only was that brutal, the illegal formation penalty, that has to be taught. Wipes out the longest run of the day from Derrick Henry, a 14-yard gain right there. And the Titans had momentum on offense right there. It just halted the drive. It turned everything into this nasty, nasty first half. Not only that, NWI dropped a touchdown early in the game. Big Jeff with a 15-yard penalty. The Ravens had a 3rd and 6 coming up. They go down and score a touchdown thanks to Zay Flowers and really with help from Big Jeff. Your defense is bending. They're not breaking, but they're going to break because they've been on the field the entire game. Time of possession, the Ravens have the edge. They've had the ball for 20 and a half minutes. The Titans have had it for 9.5 minutes. So while you do have a defense that you like to hang your hat on, you're putting these guys in a terrible position because you can't extend drives. You're 0 for 4 on third down. You're committing terrible penalties. The team didn't show up, and all of the fingers are going to be pointed at Mike Vrabel and this staff for the way that they've looked in this first half. Whether it's late travel, whatever you want to chalk it up to, this team is not prepared today, and they're getting their butts handed to them.
This is not late travel. And I said this when we talked about it during the week of, oh my gosh, are you concerned that the Titans are going over there on Thursday after practice? The Ravens have been there for 6 sleeps. I don't care about that. This is a lack of preparation. This is a lack of discipline. And Jack, I'm going to say something. I am beginning to question very strongly Mike Vrabel and his staff's ability to coach this roster. I'm questioning Mike Vrabel and his staff and their ability to coach these players. Why? Because all these dumb, stupid mistakes are being created and executed by everybody on the team. Kyle Phillips, a second-year player, he's made a mistake. You've got Ryan Stonehouse for kicking the ball too far on the punt, out kicking his coverage. That's a mistake. NWI, veteran who's been reliable, makes mistakes. NPF not lining up correctly. That's a mistake. And then you've got Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons knows that the second guy always gets the penalty. But Jeffrey Simmons, one of your highest paid player and one of your best player, breaks Mike Vrabel's cardinal rule. Don't do dumb bleep to hurt the team. And Jeffrey Simmons, I've already said, special teams, the punt units have given up 6 points in this game. Put 6 more on Jeffrey Simmons' broad shoulders, because Jeffrey Simmons gifted the Ravens a red zone opportunity by being stupid. And there's no other way to say it. Jeffrey Simmons was stupid in how he reacted to Odell Beckham Jr. I don't care if Odell kicked Jeffrey Simmons. I couldn't care less that Odell Beckham Jr. kicked Jeffrey Simmons. I don't care if Odell spit in his face, said something about his mama, said something about his girlfriend or his kids or his grandmother or whoever. I don't care. Jeffrey Simmons knows and is paid to not retaliate, to do dumb stuff to hurt his football team. Yet, here we are with Jeffrey Simmons doing this. And remember a few weeks ago, Jack, when Mike Vrabel had to talk to Jeffrey Simmons in a quarter TV timeout and say, hey, we can't do that anymore. It was offsetting penalties on Jeff and the opponents. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous here in this game for what Jeffrey Simmons was doing.
And that's one of your leaders. That's one of the guys that you hope has a good control of the locker room, who leads by example. If that's one of your leaders doing that, then what's the rest of the team doing? You know, they're going to follow that guy's lead. And if he's not playing disciplined football in what was at one point a close football game, then it's a culture issue. Championship teams do not do that. They do not commit personal fouls on third downs in rivalry situations in London. They do not do that. They find a way to overcome, whether they use it as motivation or fuel, whatever it may be. They do not hit somebody and knock them down and get a flag thrown on them in a critical situation to kill a football team whose offense is already struggling to put points on the board. You want to put your offense in a bad spot. Talk about the offense putting the defense in the bad spot. Well, you're doing the same thing on the other side of the football if you're letting the Ravens extend drives, letting them score points, because you know damn well that Ryan Tannehill and this Titans offense can't score 3 touchdowns in a football game. But you're letting the Ravens, you're giving the Ravens 15 yards and a free first down that ends up resulting in a Zay Flowers touchdown. I mean, come on. There's not whatever culture Mike Vrabel once had here is clearly lost, because Austin, we're coming up on a 17-game sample size, and the Titans are knocking on the door of losing their 11th game out of their last 13.
Yeah, this is it's absolutely pathetic. I don't know how this is an NFL team making these mistakes. These are professional athletes making bonehead mistakes, and the coaches, we're going to hear it after the Titans inevitably lose this football game. We're going to hear, got to coach better, play better. But at this point, I'm sick of hearing that from Mike Vrabel. Let's get to a couple super chats here on our halftime show. I appreciate you guys for making me aware that I had the wrong name on the graphics. I updated that. I gave all of my Fire Vrabel takes under Sam Phelan's name, not Austin Stanley, but no, I'm kidding. I will attach my name to all of those opinions that I have that I just went through. But let's get to some super chats. But first, if you're watching this, you need to like the show on Facebook, on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up button. It helps us grow quite a bit here on our Titan Game Day shows, because we're going to have a lot of opinions to get here. But first, some super chats coming from Coach Rico. Trade Henry, Hopkins, and Byard. Get as many first-round picks as possible. This team is trash. Well, the problem is, Coach Rice, none of those guys are going for first-round draft picks. Elks, Big Ten Jeff says, death taxes and Kyle Phillips dropping punts. Jack, I saw that John Glennon had this. This is his 3rd muff punt in 6 career games. That's inexcusable. Kyle Phillips has reached the point where Dory Jackson got to, where if you put him back there one more time to return a punt, that's on Mike Vrabel. It's no longer on Kyle Phillips, because he's proven to you and everybody that he can't do it. So now it's on Mike Vrabel the next time Kyle Phillips returns a punt. Let's see. Seiko says, this is the worst O-line I've ever seen play. Jack, do you have any opinions on that one?
There are so many problems right now that the offensive line doesn't even crack my top 5 in that first half. And that's how bad it was, because the O-line did nothing. Derrick Henry's been hitting the backfield every single time he's touched the football. The offensive line has done nothing, but they aren't even in my top 3 or 5 biggest problems of that first half. Mike Vrabel has lost this team. Look, you fire John Robinson. Okay. You fire Todd Downing. Okay. They still stink. What's the common denominator? Mike Vrabel. When you get rid of Tannehill, when Tannehill's contract runs out, when Derrick Henry's contract runs out, and you got a decision to make there, and they still stink, what's it going to take? I mean, Mike Vrabel, I feel like it's getting warm over there, and it might not be, but to look this bad 2 weeks in a row, knowing that you need to bounce back, knowing that you need to have a bounce back performance after laying an egg in Indianapolis, and you come out and look like this, come on.
More super chats. W. Callan says, we done with this Kyle Phillips experiment yet? One good game ever. It only hurts the team at this point. Thinking he's a difference maker is still inexcusable by the coaching staff. He helps other teams. Andre, a lot of chats. I'm going to move through them fast because I don't even think we're going to have time to ask our question of confidence level. But Andre says, tried to tell everyone, run it back and be competitive. Wasn't going to work. Kelly and Bowen are trash. Phillips and Burks are duds. Look at Vrabel. Noah says, on a positive note, I got quote tweeted by me, regardless of the situation. So congrats there, Noah. There's something positive. Nathaniel says, Phillips, why is he such a fan favorite? Not good at all. We are hard to watch. It's sickening. And then Darren says, how has Spears only gotten the ball once?
Great question.
It's a great question. That the answer is that because Nicholas Petit-Frere lined up illegally, and that cost the Titans the drive. They can't catch the football. The only way they can move the ball, it seems, is by creating pass interferences on the Ravens defense. And so it's pretty unbelievably brutal of watching this game. But, hey, you guys are strong here in the chat on both Facebook and YouTube. Big audience for this. So let's go ahead, Jack, real quick. What's your confidence level 1 through 10 on the Titans winning this game down 15 at half? And, the Titans do get the ball back, so they could pretty easily score a touchdown and make it a one-score game or one-possession game if they score a touchdown on the opening drive of the third quarter. What's your confidence level, though, Jack, in winning the game?
I know that they're not out of it. At least that's what the scoreboard tells you, that they're not out of it. It's a 2-possession game, but I'm at a 1. This is as bad as they've looked. And they haven't even turned the ball over yet. And that's coming. I mean, it just felt like it was coming at the end of the first half. When you look this bad, when it rains, it pours. And so I'm just waiting on the Tannehill death pick to put a nail into this coffin. The Titans didn't get up. They didn't get out of bed. They didn't get off the bus. They're not ready to play in London. And there's a bye week next week. If you need any extra motivation other than emptying everything you've got just to get to the bye week, get back home, you've got a full week to rest and recover, and you still come out flat, I'm at a 1.
Yeah, well, out of 1, I think I'm probably about there with you. Look, I said if the Ravens get points at the end of that drive, there's no way the Titans win this game. I think they're out of it, even though they're only down 2 scores, technically being a 15-point deficit. I think there's no chance. There's no chance this offensive line holds up. Jack, I went off in the pregame show saying that there was no way, 0.1% chance that Derrick Henry runs for 100 yards in this game. He's got 13 yards on 6 carries. That's just 2.2 yards per carry. And the Titans are down 15 points at halftime, meaning there is now 0 chance for Derrick Henry to have 100 yards rushing. Even that first 7-yard gain that he had was actually played and called a reception for Derrick Henry. So I am at a 1 right there with you. Eugene says, why even try to catch that punt from Phillips? I agree on that. Just terrible coaching all around. But hey, like the show real quick. We will be back here after the game for the Amanda J. Gentry, the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry post-game show. Thanks to all of our great partners for our Titan Game Day Live this season. Titans getting the second half kickoff now. We'll see you guys here shortly after the game. Thanks.